Oh, there's a beaver out there.
Oh, yeah.
Literally just sit down, hit record, and there's a beaver. And we were making all sorts of splashing shit and cursing. And
you were the only one cursing.
yeah, you didn't even curse. You like went down slow on the rocks. You're like, you know, when I go down, I'm just like, you're opposite, you know.
He's just wandering around.
So, this was our first time canoeing together. I think the last time I sat in a canoe, I was in my 20s.
Same.
Which is over 20 years ago. And it was solo.
Mine was not. Well, it was solo for her. I just laid there.
Yeah. That was Kumo's. That was her.
Her job.
Her job this weekend was just to be ferried around Frontenac Provincial Park, which is where we are. We're overlooking Devil's Lake. There's a motorboat out there. We are on our first portage of the day, which is what, 890 meters. And if you watch the video, it's the one I was cursing coming down here. It's right there.
Yes.
It's a pretty good morning to you today.
It's a warm-up.
Warm-up. So what are your thoughts? Because we do a lot of sea kayaking, paddleboarding, hiking. What do you find the difference?
It's more relaxing.
I find so too.
You can enjoy it.
I find hiking, you're like always struggling and sucking and cursing and hating it, and until you get to a view, then you're like, ooh, ah, and then you get to camp, you're like, ooh, ah, this is awesome. Can't wait to do this again. Then you're back on the trail next day and you're like, I hate every part of my life right now. Versus this, it's like, you got a few portages, which the first two are pretty easy. This one's honestly pretty easy too until the last
100 meters.
Slippery slope down the waterfall.
Depending which way you're coming.
But definitely makes it challenging. You know, you get that, I find you get that mix of relaxing, sitting, paddling on the water, and then you get that challenging, how do we get our gear across this piece of land, up this waterfall, you know. Another tick. Found a tick last night, no it's not. Our first tick in weeks.
Yeah, it was crawling over my hand.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I highly enjoyed it because of the same reasons, but I don't know. It's very different. Very different. Like we did sea kayaking in the Georgian Bay, but there was no portaging.
No, but it was a struggle because the waves were
The water conditions were not great, or great, depending how you want to look at it. This weekend, the water conditions are almost like glass. It's a very, very calm, no wind. This morning it was beautiful. Again, the difference between yesterday morning and this morning is everything yesterday was soaked because of mist and dew. Absolutely, is like it torrentially poured.
What did you get into?
We didn't see that one coming yesterday.
No.
She got into dog stuff finally.
Oh, God, yes.
And this morning was beautiful. We had a sunrise and
watched the fog
leaves
roll in.
And then the fog rolled in, but it wasn't bad because we didn't.
No, you stink.
No,
go.
yeah, you like really stink. Or maybe that's you.
No.
Okay.
Well,
maybe it's me.
No, it's her.
Come on, go be a dog.
It's wet dog.
Go wrestle the beaver. Go chew a squirrel or something. Now I took notes. And that's really unprofessional to look at your phone, the podcast, but
You took notes?
yeah, I took notes this morning while you were napping.
Enjoying.
I can't see anything here. Provincial parks versus Crownland camping.
Ooh.
I still kind of prefer Crownland camping much better because, like I said, we were paddling by that point. We're like, ooh, that'd be a beautiful place to camp. But there's a big sign that says provincial park boundaries, no camping. Permits required. I like the freedom of Crownland camping because if you find a nice spot, you can just stay there. You know, I like that. Versus here, you're kind of a little bit stressed. You got to get to this site. You got to get to that site. You know, like.
And then you hope to have great neighbors.
And then you hope to have great neighbors, which we did this weekend. It was phenomenal. People were great. The campsites were great, which I find in a lot of provincial parks, like the northern campsites we stayed in Frontenac, some are not so great. Like some in the little lakes, which we've decided not really to camp at little lakes because they're like big swamps.
Yeah, and water access.
And the water access, like on that Birch Lake campsite we stayed in, when we walked in the dark last year, That was like 150 feet down to water access.
Right, I forgot
And
about that
it's
one.
just like, it's just not the greatest of sights. But not the case this weekend. They were great. So I think sticking to big bodies of water in Frontenac Provincial Park
For us.
is the ticket to get really nice sights, because I haven't seen any that I wouldn't want to camp on. But I still prefer Crownland. Yeah. Access the notes again. You know, when I first got into search and rescue, it was a big no-no to get your phone out. It was like, you shall not get your phone out. And then that's evolved into, this is your biggest tool, because we have like 8 to 10 apps for different things. Look at that, getting YouTube stuff. Kayaking versus canoe, we talked about that. Hiking versus tarp versus tent camping.
Oh, I like tarp. Well, I like tarp.
Season specific,
Yes.
because you don't want to tarp camp unless you got a bug net in
Yeah.
like July.
I find I am confined in a tent. Claustrophobic almost.
Yeah, me too. Man, the way we had the tarp set last night, which was a little higher, you could kind of like roll out the side to go pee at night. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're more connected to nature. You could see the moonlight last night was absolutely insane. You didn't even need a head. You could almost read a book by the moonlight. It was, I don't know if you saw that at all, but it was, I actually tried to film it, but with cell phones and GoPro, you can't do a lot of decent low light filming. So tarp camping, huh? That's first time you've tarp camped together, like in your life? We've tarp camped before, but have you tarp camped before?
No.
No, I absolutely love it. And it's versatile. I find it's very versatile. And it's almost quicker to set up and take down. Oh, the difference in kit between this and hiking, because we typically hike, but canoeing with portages requires a totally different mindset.
Yeah.
We pack 2 30-liter barrels, which we're leaning on one, and a bunch of dry bags and my SAR Go bag, which, like I told you earlier, I have to learn to let go of on a paddle trip. It's nice to have everything essential in there, but when you're portaging, you don't want to portage like a 800-meter portage 3 or 4 times. So then that...
Which I did yesterday.
You did yesterday.
Sort of.
Footwear. We are now wearing our
Wet hikers.
hikers, because this portage destroyed us with our water shoes. Absolutely destroyed us. And we've seen some YouTube guys, when they canoe, they wear hikers. And I was like, why don't you wear a water shoe? Like, they ventilate more. Yeah, they do, but God, you don't get any traction. I think water shoes are great for paddleboarding, whitewater, kayaking. But if you're portaging,
Small portages.
you're hikers all day long.
Small and easy portages.
Learn that one. So footwear, we actually stowed our paddle shoes are hanging off our barrels. No more for portaging. But just how you pack. We did good for kit, but we had too many bags, which created too many trips. So we've decided, because we actually have a big 120-liter canoe bag at home, which we didn't bring on the canoe trip because we're that smart. We decided bags like this is the way to go, and it's not. It's great for kayaking if you're not portaging, but you got to carry these things by hand, and it's not so great. So we decided we're going to get a 60-liter barrel and use the 120-liter bag, and that between 2 people in a canoe, plenty.
We might even be able to fit all this stuff in that bag.
Most likely we would be able to. Because like I said, we didn't really bring a whole lot this trip, which was pretty good. We did good on kit. Clothing-wise, did good for clothing. Layers, it got down to +4 at the coldest this weekend. We had good sleeping bags, so it's not an issue. PFDs, like I said yesterday, I'm going to leave this just for whitewater and actually get something that's lower cut for canoeing, because this is a lot when you're canoeing. And yes, we wear our PFDs at all times, so it's not...
Especially when we have the dog.
Yeah, especially when we have the dog. It's not an option not to wear a PFD with us at all. Differences in our mornings. Yeah, this morning was absolutely beautiful. Yesterday morning,
Felt like it was raining and it wasn't big drops.
yeah, it was funny because you're like, it's raining. I'm like, it's not raining. It's just the mist, and you could see like waves of mist coming in, just soaking everything we had. But we had a great afternoon when we got actually to this lake, and our stuff dried within an hour. What do you like better, kayak or canoe?
That's not
It's hard to answer, right? Because if we kayak, we're on something like the Georgian Bay where you're not portaging, but you can't kayak with the sea kayaks here because you're not going to carry a 60-pound sea kayak on these trails. I don't know.
I don't have a favorite.
I think it's the same. It's just different terrain and different.
It's what we feel like doing that weekend.
Yeah, I like both. I really enjoy the canoe. We ended up renting a canoe from Frontenac Outfitters. Shout out Frontenac Outfitters. You guys are like my favorite store now.
Yeah.
So we rented a 16-foot full Kevlar canoe, and it weighs 37 pounds. Whew, what a machine. It goes straight through the water. It's super light, super balanced. You can portage this thing with no hands on the canoe. We think we're probably going to buy one on our way out.
You think? Or you know?
I think so. Well, there's Canadian geese coming in. 4 of them banking around the point.
They like making an entrance.
Yeah, they definitely made an entrance this morning, honking and splashing. So we are on our way out of Frontenac. We've probably got, 5 to 6 hours to get back to the Bronco.
12K, I think.
About 12K, 3 portages, this being the biggest one. Then we have a 400-meter one. Then we have a 190-meter one, then a 490-meter one, or whatever it is. And those are both pretty easy. This one goes up and then plateaus and then goes down. And it's good.
Easy.
I like it. It's not bad for it's a good, hey, this is portaging kind of thing. Yeah, I like it.
It's not the pig.
No, it's not the pig in Killarney, which we have the tendency to say things we're never going to do. Like, I'm never going to hike Killarney again, ever. And then you hiked it with me. Mm-hmm. And then while hiking Killarney, we saw some of the portages, and those are legit. And we said, no, we're never portaging canoe ever, ever, ever. We're just going to be open water, Lake Opeongo, Georgian Bay, stuff like that. Lake Superior, that's on our list. And I think, 2 weeks later, I think we were watching something on YouTube. And we said, hey, we should rent a canoe.
No, we were
hiking here. We were hiking here. And we're like, you know what? We should just try portaging.
The guy came in portaging.
Yeah, we should just, that elderly couple, they came in, and I'm like, well, if they can do it, so can we, right? Because whatever someone can do, we can do as well. So then we're portaging. We're doing trips of portaging, and we're enjoying it. And then when we hiked the pig in Killarney, if you don't know what that is, I would suggest looking that up on YouTube or hiking it yourself, because it is.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, but it's a climb and a descend.
Just make sure you train.
And we said we'd never portage that. And last night we said, you know what, we're probably going to portage that at some point in our lives. It's going to happen. So yeah, stand by to get some in Killarney. Yeah. Should we get this portage done? Mm-hmm. Go get some burgers.
Burgers and fries.
All right, burgers and fries.